begins Chapter 3, Lesson 7, dealing with functions and graphs. But let's see how much you remember from Lesson 6. So find the perimeter of this rectangle. Is it A, 55 and 8/10, B, 42 and 2/10, C, 39 and 1/10, or D, 98 centimeters? And your answer is B. Find the perimeter of this square. Remember, with squares, lengths and widths are all the same. So is it A, 252 millimeters, B, 3,969 millimeters, C, 189 millimeters, or D, 242 millimeters? And your answer is A. So now find the area of the rectangle. Remember, area is length times width. Is it A, 42 and 2/10 squared centimeters? Is it B, 558 squared centimeters? Is it C, 55 and 8/10 squared centimeters? Or is it D, 27 and 9/10 squared centimeters? And your answer is? So now find the area of this square. Is it A, 3,969 millimeters squared? B, 252 millimeters squared? C, 819 millimeters squared, or D, 1,984 and a half millimeter squared? The answer is A. Sorry if you feel like I'm plugging through this kind of fast, because I only got 15 minutes to make sure I get this lesson in. This rectangle has a width of 3 and 6/10 feet and an area A feet. Which of the following could be used to find the length of the rectangle? So in other words, which is the correct formula? Is it A, B, C, or D? And your answer is A. Remember, area is equal to length times width. Alright, so now today we're going to graph data to demonstrate some relationships. And so the first thing we're going to have to talk about is a linear equation. And so a linear equation is any equation that will fall along a straight line. That's what it means. Linear literally means a straight line. So the table shows the number of hours Abby worked to the corresponding earnings. Make a graph of the data to show the relationship between the number of hours Abby worked and her earnings. Okay, so it looks like she's making about $6 an hour. So the ordered pairs are 1, 6, 212, 318, and 424 to represent this function. And we're going to graph the ordered pairs, and that's what it looks like. So let's just go back, take a look at this. So if she were to do 5 hours, where would it fall? Well, it would fall on 5 and 30. It'd actually be the next one up on the line. Obviously, if she doesn't make any money, or she doesn't do any earnings, any work, she doesn't earn any money, and so it would cross through 0, 0. So now make a graph of the data in the table that shows the relationship between the amount of money David would pay and the number of movies he rents. Apologize, it's kind of small, but which one shows the correct number? Is it A, B, C, or D? So now we've done graphing before, so just make sure that we're picking the one that corresponds with what we see on the chart. And your answer is C. So now we're going to graph solutions of linear equations. So we're going to graph y is equal to x plus 3. So what we're going to do to solve this is we're going to pick any values that we want for x. The book will usually choose 2, 1, 0, and -1. They'll also always choose things that create small numbers that are easier to graph. So you don't have to make these absolutely ginormous graphs. So we're going to plug in our values and just plot them on the line. And you notice they still make a straight line. And that's our solutions, and that is our graph. So now we're going to graph y is equal to 3x minus 2. You're going to have to come up with a couple of different variables and see, just pick a number for x, pick a number, and then solve for y. So you can pick 1, you can pick 0. 0 is always a good one because it'll help you kind of know where your y-axis is. Alright, and then which one matches the equation. And your answer is? Alright, so now blue whales can reach a top speed of 30 miles per hour. The equation d is equal to 30t describes the distance d that a whale swimming at that speed can travel in time t. Assuming that a whale can maintain that speed, represent the function with a graph. Excuse me. And we're going to select any 4 values for t. We're only going to select positive numbers because t is time, and time is always positive. And we're going to make a function table. So they pick 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now that we've got our function table, we're going to graph our order of pairs and draw lines through the points. Now notice that this graph does not go down into these negative quadrants because, remember, just like I said, time is always positive. You can go backwards in distance, you cannot go backwards in time. So now Susie takes a car trip traveling at an average of 55 miles per hour. The equation d is equal to 55t describes the distance d that Susie travels in time t. Represent this function with a graph. Is it A, B, C, or D? And your answer is A. I will tell you right now, B is wrong because this would show that you're going backwards distance and time. This would be like time travel, but going backwards in time. It's not going to be D because of this arched line. Linear equations are always going to fall under a straight line. Alright, so representing functions. We can represent functions in words as there are 12 inches and 1 foot. We can represent it in a tale where 1 feet is 12 inches, 2 feet is 24 inches. We can also represent it with a function, an equation. The feet is equal to 12n, and they used n for inches. And then, all of these different things can also be represented in the graph that you see on the right. And that concludes your lesson.